Time was your ally, human. But now it has abandoned you. The Forerunners have returned. This tomb is now yours.
Slip space rupture! Chief, move!
Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, bringing you another entry in our Halo 4 Deathless Legendary playthrough. We're on mission number 3, Forerunner. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you I enjoyed this mission. This is probably one of my least favorite missions in the campaign. It's definitely a least favorite in the campaign, probably one of my least favorite of all time. That probably boils down to playing it maybe too much here recently on Legendary difficulty, specifically with the intent of not dying, which can be very challenging in the early portions of the game because you don't have enough light rifle. And then it can be kind of boring in the next parts of the game because, as it turns out, the light rifle is like the best weapon to kill the Prometheans with. And it can get pretty boring having to use it so much of the time. That all being said, it's not a terrible level, it's still Halo, and I'm going to try my best to walk you through how I played it. We've got a lot of cinematic stuff in the first part of this level, so I'm going to stay quiet, let this stuff kind of play out, and then go forward with any commentary that I might need to provide to enhance the gameplay.
This is the first pylon?
Negative. This is as close as I could get us. Hope you don't mind hoofing it a little.
I always like to run over and punch that guy, but I don't know if there's any way to kill him, at least not on Legendary difficulty. One punch ain't enough to kill a crawler. But I always like to hope that maybe one of these guys is a little bit weaker as a result. So as you can see here, I'm just taking them off the wall, but it can be hard to hit headshots at the wall. Contrary to popular belief, you actually can get pretty close to these crawlers as long as you kind of know what you're doing. And here I don't want to use any more pistol because, again, I don't have the light rifle for the upcoming initial first battle with a knight, so I run up in there and get silly with them with fisticuffs and gun butts and such.
They're connected, all right. Look out! Well, he's just a ray of sunshine, isn't he?
Alright, once that ray of sunshine is done with his little gag there, you will come over here, and even though you see a bunch of Prometheans phasing out of this area, and phasing up there to the left, if you can see that, you're only going to fight one of them and a whole bunch of crawlers at this particular section. I go ahead and throw away my frag grenades in the partial hopes of getting kills, but ultimately just to get rid of them. I've never really been able to find a good use for them outside of speedrunning applications, and so I go ahead and get rid of them just in case I'm, selected on one of them and would rather have thrown a pulse grenade, which is good for area denial, or a sticky grenade later on when we get a chance to fight the Covenant. So here I'm going to try to pick off all of the support for this night. Notice how I focused on the Watcher first. That's a very good idea because, as you may know, the Watchers can support these guys in really, really frustrating ways. The main way in which they do that they're famous for is by reviving knights after they've died. Notice how this is something that's very unique. That guy doesn't usually phase over there, but I have seen it enough before to have been, I guess, ready for it once I realized what was happening. So, with the help of our turret, which you definitely want to have and keep, and our assault rifle, we're able to take that guy down with very little fanfare. It's good to hold on to the assault rifle for as long as you can. You won't find any more ammunition for it, and you start out with a paltry amount of what is already a paltry total that you can have. But nonetheless, it's good for stripping shields at distance. And that's pretty much all I've got for it. But that's a worthy thing. There's no other Forerunner weapon that really does that at all. And or arguably even a Covenant weapon that does that very well. It's hit scan, and it can shoot at long distances at that with quote-unquote hit scan accuracy when burst, rather. So notice how I just kind of bum rushed that initial guy. This guy, you can bum rush if you want, but usually he and or the crawlers will eat you up, and then he'll phase out, and then it'll be, you know, big waste of ammo and possibly a big enough risk to get you killed. Now this guy's in charge mode, so I'm going to try to strip his shield, but ultimately, he just threw a grenade behind us. Ultimately, usually I don't kill him here unless I get really fortunate. Normally he will phase away, and the knight's shields recharge in about 3.5 seconds, 3 to 3.5 seconds, which is massively faster than anything we had seen up to this point in Halo. By the way, the Covenant Elites have the same recharge rate, so it's very, very frustrating and very strange for that to have been the case. So it looks like we had that guy trapped. We've taken care of enough crawlers that I'm not going to let this guy get away, even if it means risking my life against the support here. I think there's one more crawler over here, so instead of wasting any more of that light rifle, I'm going to go ahead and just headshot him as fast as possible. Be sure and collect this light rifle as well. You will need it unless you plan on skipping the part that I'm about to do now, which, by the way, is totally possible. You just keep running up to the structure that we saw a few seconds ago, rather, and you should be able to make it work. I'm walking the assault rifle over for the aforementioned reasons, and I'm going to have this for headshotting the crawlers. Every once in a while, this won't work because this game sucks and cheats, but most of the time, as it should work, it will work. And you do it just like I just did there. So this is where I like to have the bolt shot. The bolt shot is really tricky. It has a very strange level of, I guess, button depression. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it really wants you to use it as a shotgun. If you know about its secondary fire there. And it wants you to do that so badly that when you try to fire it fast, sometimes it'll just stop firing altogether. Like it's trying to hold that charge that's required to get the full 6-shot shotgunny type thing that it'll do. So anyway, very frustrating having to use it for this purpose here. But I'm really just covering my bases and making sure that I have enough ammunition to be able to relatively easily kill the next knight. Notice I'm reserving my auto turret as best I can, trying to be careful with this weapon, but this piece of crap keeps running around this stupid rock. So now it's time to take care of the two, or maybe I already took care of one of them, the other watcher in the area. Definitely do not want to kill a knight when a watcher is still around. Especially here where your ammunition is so low, or so unavailable, I should say. So he's going to charge us when he does that. We're not yet at a point where the knights will phase over to you in Forerunner. At least not at this part of the level, but maybe throughout the entire level. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. So whenever they do that kind of tantrum-y thing where they throw their things at, they're just going to charge at you. So when they're further away, it makes it even better because they usually don't do it without being deshielded or close to being deshielded.
We must be getting close to the pylon.
So here you have a bunch of crawlers, and then at some point we're going to have a knight spawn into the back wall there. And the way that occurs, or the most reliable way to get him to spawn, is to walk up further onto this circular platform thing. And we'll talk about him when we get to him. Right now I'm just letting these guys jump up here and get killed. These guys are really hard to shoot off the wall sometimes. Sometimes they're really easy to shoot off the wall, but right now they're not. So right now I hear that's your first light rifle crate there of the level. As soon as he spawns in, get rid of his watcher and back up. As soon as you get rid of his watcher, he will hunt you down mercilessly. I put a turret right here. I throw pulse grenades at him. Pretty much anything to strip him of his shield as soon as possible. I stay back here because he cannot come back here. Oh, there we go. There's one down without a light rifle. But I stay back there because he can't go back there. He's got a scatter shot, so he will blow your face off. So it's good to stay away from him as much as you possibly can. It's a pretty good idea to come out of here stocked with as much ammunition as you can, but it's not crucial. There will be a couple of places to get ammunition in the next section, or even before we get to that next section.
lost that distortion.
Alright, so once you come in here, you want to be sure and fill up your light rifle if you need to, there to the left, but the main thing is to not go out this door. If you go out it will shut behind you and never open again. Before you go out this door, take out this watcher and try your best to take out that knight. Then go back, refill your ammunition, and then get ready for the crawlers that are swarming down below. It's really not a good idea to get in the midst of a whole bunch of crawlers with very little ammunition or ability to kill them. So we take out that knight fairly fast. Let's go fill up our... And also we can fill up our scatter shot here, which is in very short supply in terms of its ammunition in the next section. So we fill up our scatter shot, fill up our light rifle, and now we can go to town on these crawlers without having to worry about the knight hitting us from afar with the light rifle it holds. I like to stay up here for as long as the crawlers are willing to not be cowards and do this crap. Looks like they're going to do this crap, so I'm going to probably get down very shortly. Oh, we got a long-range crawler shooting us from over there. You know, don't forget about these guys. You can shoot at them from up here if these guys are being idiots and running around and not shooting and showing their faces. Because by far the best way to kill crawlers is just to light rifle them in the face. Alright, so one knight down, one power core down, and 2 to go before some nastiness starts up. So I'm going to try to take care of as many of these crawlers as I can before I spawn the knight that's in the next on the next platform there, under or above rather the power core. The way you spawn him is by getting close enough. So don't get close enough to that platform. I'm not sure exactly where that imaginary magical line is, the invisible one, but so I stay back here for safety. But ultimately, as soon as he starts to spawn, I'm going to run up to him and I'm going to shoot him with this scatter shot. It doesn't always work on Legendary. My advice to you is to not do this and to light rifle him from afar. I only do that because I didn't want to get bored playing this level. But I guess I wanted to be frustrated a lot too, so I don't really know what the answer. I don't know why I have to do that. I think it was a heroic strat that works really well with skill that for some reason doesn't really work well here because you just can't kill him fast enough. The Watcher reacts too fast. But again, if in doubt at any given point when dealing with Prometheans, light rifle from afar is your best bet. So that area there, that power core back there, that was the only area where you could get scattershot ammunition in this level that doesn't come from an enemy drop. And the enemy that drops it in this area is going to spawn up top after we get finished with all the power cores. So if you like using the scattershot for these parts that I'm showing you, you'll see in a little bit, be sure and go back and get that ammunition. Like I'm doing now. The very first power core that I approached, that's the only place that scattershot is in this area as far as I'm aware. I'd like to be able to take out every single watcher, or excuse me, crawler that I can before I spawn this knight, and then prepare to spawn what will be 3 more knights after I get finished taking down this power core. So notice how I'll spawn my turret to go ahead and start putting pressure on this guy, and I'm just going to run up here. It wouldn't, you know, the watcher doing that, shielding him, wouldn't piss me off so bad, except for the fact that I just put a shotgun right at him and it didn't kill him, and that was from pretty close range. That's the only reason that I'm really upset about this. It just doesn't seem fair to me at all. Again, what the harder strat is to execute that. The easier strat is to sit back with a light rifle and shoot them both till they're dead. That's the easier thing. It's easier and less risky. That's just backwards in my opinion. I think if this strat's executed, it should be rewarded. And I put that shotgun right on that watcher. But enough complaining. So make sure you fill up your light rifle ammunition and go back and get the rest of this scatter shot. For this part, I think it's actually more important to have the scatter shot. But again, when there's any question, light rifle from distance and you should be fine. Auto turret backing you up and helping you out. It's hard to get more safe and more effective than that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my turret out now, And I'm just going to bum rush these guys if I can punch this thing. Alright, let's go. Run right over here.
Head for the top of the pylon.
Put one little charge in. Oh my goodness. He died really fast. I don't know if my turret was working on him or not, but or maybe he got hit with some spray from me shooting the other guy, but anyway, so they both go down pretty fast when you do that. Again, probably more valuable to do it there than it is with the other two you saw me kill like that. This guy is a scatter shot. He's a battle wagon, and so since he has the scatter shot, I'm not about to get up there with him. There's no chance at all, other than by I don't know, doing what I'm doing now, but from afar, from I guess less far away. There's really no chance to kill him other than if you're close to him. There's just no way. It's like dealing with a shotgun flood in Halo 2. There's just no chance. So you step back there, shoot him in the face. And yes, I was happy to come out of here. There's no reason to pick up this ammunition. There's plenty of it in the next section before we even encounter another enemy. But anyway, yeah, I was happy to leave this section having gotten, I guess, 4 out of the 6 kills with the scatter shot, or mainly and more importantly, not the light rifle. But don't do that. Just shoot everything from range with the light rifle. There is plenty of ammunition for it in this area.
They must have intercepted our distress beacon.
The beacon was pulled into Requiem with us. If they try to follow it,
They'll get caught in the gravity well. I'll keep trying to warn them. You just get that beam down.
Alright, so in this next section, we're going to be dealing with Covenant initially. And then we will be dealing with Prometheans. So I'm going to wait till we get to it. I just wanted to let you know that this is where we're coming to if you forgot the order of this level. I still like to stick with these two weapons, this weapon combination, but ultimately I'm going to be looking for plasma grenades, a needler, and if I can't find needler or enough of it, then a plasma pistol.
they haven't hit the gravity well yet.
There's still too much interference to warn them. We've got to disable that other beam before they're pulled in.
I guess
like
another
we were.
reason why you don't have to stop off and try to find more scattershot ammunition like I did before. I mean, yeah, I just glanced by it, but it's really
I was wondering
not important. We're going to drop it pretty fast, actually.
What are they doing here?
They're heading
See
for
the ammo
Central
crates right there.
Pylon
Both have light rifle, both have pulse grenades, and both have ammunition for all the
Sounds like
weapons
the
that have been
Prometheans
available to
don't
you
want the
thus
Covenant
far.
here either.
All the Promethean weapons that have been
The
available
Battlenet's
thus
already
far.
lighting up with reports of resistance all around the pylon.
So I do not in any way, shape, or form focus on the Knights on the hill. I let them take care of the Covenant as much as possible. In order to keep from getting bored, I might take out a grunt or two, maybe take out some of the elites so they don't surprise me with a grenade or whatever. Focus on the Watchers last because they're the least lethal. Again, they're not going to stick you with a grenade or anything like that. Or do this. But he's dead now. So I'm going to go down here and find some needler, hopefully some plasma grenades, if at all possible. But that, it's post Halo 3, so or even post Halo 2. Finding grenades can be much more difficult than it was with the classic games. So full needler, I'm not complaining. We got 2 pulse grenades, which are pretty much useless except for in very specific scenarios. These guys, I believe Hokey Bird called it play fighting when I watched this video quite a while back. They never quite kill each other. Now, I don't know if I sat here for long enough if they would actually kill each other or not. Maybe the grunts will die, but I'm pretty sure that Knight and those 2 elites would survive in perpetuity. Maybe, I don't know if that's scripted or if that's just the behavior of the elites. They're going to go back and get cover, let their shields recharge, and vice versa. So this guy, as soon as we kill the elite for him, he sends us a really nice present, a pulse grenade up there, but he's not going to be able to survive the needler. And so this grunt here is not going to be able to survive the headshots, and away we go. So it's nice if you can leave this specific little area with a little bit of light rifle for the next section. Or of a headshot weapon, I guess. So to be ultra safe, you can go back and get the carbine, but this guy phases away as soon as he was about to die, which is absolute and utter crap. It's garbage, and in every way, shape, or form does it make this game worse when that occurs. Nothing about that makes this game better or more fun or more appropriately or enjoyably challenging. Nothing at all. It will happen later on in the series at a late point. And if you don't understand my frustrations here, then you'll understand it then, I promise you that. So we're going to set back from range with the light rifle we gathered and our turret and kill everything like that instead of doing it in a fun, swaggy, skillful, planful way. And this turret totally needs to go. Notice how my turret is dividing the fire of the elite between it and myself, which is nice, of course. So I'm almost out of ammo here, so I'm just going to spam something at him until he dematerializes. And the carbine is really good for spamming. Alright, so this guy, again, same thing here. You don't have to kill him like this, but I do anyway, because it's fun and enjoyable. It makes up for the last area that we should have been done with 2 minutes ago. Alright, so, you know, what you get through here is Prometheans and Covenant fighting. They will actually kill each other through here a lot more reliably, so feel free to sit back and take on the winner. You don't have to get risky with it. I feel like I get a little too risky with it here, maybe being in a mite bit more of a hurry than I had to be. That guy phases away at about the same time we were going to kill him, but not quite as frustrating there, I don't guess. It felt a little cheesy just shooting him from distance with this thing. But, you know, the elites get the kill. They get awarded for that, even though they totally didn't deserve it. By the way, not really sure what was going on in the planning meeting for this, but in Halo 4 at least, plasma weapons can rip through Covenant armor. I mean, you could argue they do the same for the most part to UNSC armor, but not really. Not even remotely to the same degree. So that plasma rifle, normally it would just bounce off the hull in most Halo games because of plasma's, you know, supposed to be a little more weak against armor. It doesn't there, so we get ourselves into a mite bit more trouble there than I wanted to get into, but just can't roll through here and have fun with the ghosts. You have to... Again, safest thing is probably to wait till the battle ends and sit back and shoot everything from range. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this ghost because I will want it for the next section. Don't necessarily need it though, but it does make this getting through here a little bit faster, I guess. Faster than walking. So, crawlers and some grunts and jackals are fighting here. Not really that big of a deal. The main thing you want to watch out for here is grunt grenades. Overcharged, being overcharged sucks as well, so don't let that happen. There's a fresh ghost to the right if you want to take it in here. Not the worst idea in the world. Oh, and I did get it. But there is another ghost that's in this next section too before we actually have to leave this. I think this is kind of transitional section. So there is a ghost back there in that area. You know, one of those ways where we just passed. So, very important that you listen to how I do this. This is the fastest and best way to do it without skipping at all. Stop here and light rifle this guy. Sometimes, getting over to him with the ghost, you can't do it fast enough and you can't kill him fast enough. Sometimes you won't be able to go fast enough and you'll just push him into the Banshee. So, it's worked every time so far since I've been doing this, and I've done it a lot of times. Just light rifle him to death. Make sure it's the light rifle. It'll do the best overall damage to his shields for a long-range headshot weapon. Now that the elite has crawled into this ghost, I'm going to shoot it dead. It actually does a pretty good job at taking out ghosts the same way that plasma weapons do. But I don't blow up that ghost until that elite gets in it, unless it's apparent that he's never going to get in it. And if he never appears to be getting into it, then I will blow it up to take it out of the field of play. Because we will definitely want it out of the field to play in just a little bit. So this room I used to think was the most poorly designed room since Sabo Highway's Roundabout. I don't quite think that anymore, but it's still pretty high on my shit list. So the way I take this room out is I take down the first Banshee with this ghost. Yes, that's ridiculous, but there is nowhere in this entire area that there is there exists a weapon that's suitable for taking out these Banshees. The only thing that comes close is a fuel rod that's next to the grunt that was already dead when we came into this room. nearby where we shot the elite. And shooting fuel rods at Banshees on legendary difficulty is a joke. So we get actually really, really lucky here. I've never seen this before, or haven't seen it in too long. Normally, I would have just sat there and let him keep doing his sweeps and passes, moving out of the way for the fuel rod blast, and then just shooting him dead as he drove away. Fortunately, we did not have to worry about that at all. He came there at all. He came in there with us, making it much more easy to kill him. So, with only one Banshee and one Ghost, I'm comfortable going into this room now. Otherwise, it's a real nightmare trying to make this work. Come on, just go. So now we're down to just one Ghost. Because those Carbine guys can slice through this armor, again, ridiculous. I don't know why that's even possible. That is not what the Carbine is used for. It is not an anti-armor weapon in any way. But they will shoot at you and they will take you down. I go ahead and get out of that Banshee. The only reason I had that Banshee was to take out the other Banshee. You could have done that with the Ghost, but it would have taken much longer. Probably would have been less risky though. So let's go ahead and get rid of these grunts. I'm mainly waiting for that Ghost to show its. There it is, right there. So if we can just take this guy out, then we have a chance of the elite maybe coming over and getting into it. Nope, we just get another grunt getting into it here. So we'll just shoot him dead from range. And will the elite get in there? Will he? Will he not? Doesn't appear that he will. So I'm going to flip this Ghost. And I'm going to take it around and start taking out power cores. And elites. Oh, now he gets in it. Now he decides to get in it. But you know what? Fortunately, we can win this battle because the elites, or the grunts, or anyone, whoever's gets in those ghosts, they're not programmed to just hold down the automatic fire on it. So that's a pretty easy one-on-one battle to win.
Take out the other two power
I guess for all the
cores and
disadvantages
access
you
the
get
pylons.
at this game at times, that's a good advantage to take advantage of. Doesn't feel nearly as bad. So again, using the light rifle from range, the main concern I have here is avoiding the elites with carbines. Again, on shields and on armor, they are just, they're ridiculously powerful against you on legendary difficulty. So here I think I replaced the fuel rod, which I was planning on using as a backup, really only as a backup, and replace it with the needler because at some point I assume I'm going to have to get pretty close to those elites up there with the carbines. And perhaps a grunt or two as well on the
Good
ground.
job, Chief.
So looking to see if we were pretty safe to kind of be outside. Doesn't look like the carbine elites are patrolling up there. I believe there's 3 of them. For some reason I want to say there's 2 on the middle level and 1 on the top level, but it could be just 2 up there. I'm not really sure. So now we're starting to draw the carbine dude's attention. I like to try this. It doesn't usually work, but draw his attention and then come out and shoot him to death. That's what we do here, and my goodness, it actually worked. 1 down. I, for some reason, honestly, can't remember. It's either 1 down, 1 to go, and 1 down and 2 to go, which is awesome. I've tried to get close to them on legendary difficulty, whether it's going up there, right after I get done with all the power cores and taking them out, but there's too much geometry, too many grenades, too many trolley hiding spots that they will take on. So again, what did I tell you before? If you're when in doubt, shoot them at range. I like that strategy a lot better because it can be hard to execute, but it's almost like you have to take that risk to make them commit, but once they commit, then you can take them out if you're accurate enough. So, and they're bold enough, so works out pretty well. So here, when you destroy all the power cores, nothing similar to what happens in the previous level happens here. You don't have this opportunity or this thing where suddenly a bunch of enemies spawn to block your way. Nothing really changes at all. Yes, so there were 3, of course, and I take this guy out in just a slightly more enjoyable and rewarding way than I would have if I'd have just shot him from range. So up next, we're going to be facing a few more Covenant than we will be Prometheans. So I decide in my infinite wisdom to go ahead and collect as much carbine as possible, and I actually think that's the best bet. The infinite wisdom part, the sarcasm there being that I don't know, took the long way around twice to do it, but anyway. So let's go up here to the 3rd level and get up, or get up here and go. Don't have anything clever to say there, I don't guess.
UNSC Infinity Survivor Forward is on. Reading a faint IFF tag.
We'll editorialize a little bit here, or maybe not really that, ask a question, but I've never, even to this moment, I'm not really sure whether or not the Didact or his technology made it easier for us to hear their transmission, or if they actually emulated it somehow, because of that the very start of the cutscene there, at the end of this level, the cryptum kind of emanates an imitation of Chief. So I don't know if they. I'm pretty sure what happened is they somehow found a way to enhance or amplify or that signal. But anyway, I've always kind of been confused about that. Like, did the Infinite or did the Didact somehow make it up from whole cloth or whatever? I don't know. It's probably pretty clear at this junction. There's probably some bit of lore that I haven't read there that makes that clear. By the way, oh my God. I've got to say it. I know this isn't what this is about, but Silent Storm. I've read every Halo book and a lot of the stuff. I do keep up with a lot of the lore. I've read every book and a lot of the other stuff. The newest book, Silent Storm, is as good a Halo book as I've ever read. I could not say that about the last two, but this one is worth picking up, man. If you are listening to this and you don't have that book and you like Halo books, or even if you just want to get started reading Halo books, it's even a great starting point because it actually goes back in time. So anyway, take care of those dudes with shooting. Go to the right, that's where the Prometheans are losing and the Covenant are winning. If you prefer the left, that's great. I hear it's easier to speedrun it over there, but over here I feel like the battle's just a little bit easier dealing with the Covenant over the Prometheans. I could change my mind tomorrow about that. I've done both sides deathlessly, at least up until the Ghost run, but I think I'd stick with this by default unless I started dying at this part a lot, which I don't. So the main concerns you have in this area are the sniper, or the the knight with the sniper rifle. He has a name, and I'm forgetting. The Lancer, that's what it is. The Knight Lancer, which he's already dead, by the way. The Covenant kill him either with that Phantom Crash or through other means. But so therefore, the main threat, of course, besides suiciding grunts, is the Fuel Rod Elite. When you come up here, he will try to flank you from below. It's almost, I would argue it's definitely scripted. But you do need to pass a certain point for that to occur. I apparently have not passed that point yet. And and you'll know it's him because he'll be moving very fast. So I usually try to wait for him and then needler him to death, but it wasn't him. It was actually that grunt. So it could be that we're past a point, I guess, in this battle where he's willing to flank you. Or I just haven't passed the right line yet. But notice there, we get some really fast fuel rod bolts coming in. You should know that on Legendary difficulty, they can fire those bolts, or rods, or whatever you're going to call them, rods, I guess, a lot faster than you will be able to fire them. So don't underestimate it, just because it sucks when you try to use it. So I'm not really getting that flanking action at all. That's why I say it's not scripted per se, because it doesn't happen every time. I think we're at a point in the battle now where they're going to stay fixed in some pretty advantageous positions, frankly, for them. And so I'm going to have to try to whittle them down from range or get close. And, of course, neither's really working right now, or sounding really good right now. But we will get past this part, by God. I was trying to pull them to that side and hope that maybe they would go over there. I cannot throw a grenade far enough, I don't think, to get them to come out. That's what I want to do. And I think he makes the wrong move at some point here, and I'm able to kill him with, yeah. So he comes back right as his shield, or right before his shield was to recharge. And so now that the fuel rod guy's dead, we've got the carbine guy left. I think we can close the gap on him and wait for that needle red reticle and take him out. And when I say that, of course, I mean that's the distance at which it will start to track. And the needler is boss in this game. So I pick up the sniper rifle, or the binary rifle here, and the fuel rod, because there are you know, these are powerful weapons, and I've got a case of light rifle here. And so the main thing I want to do here is not go out this door until I am satisfied with how many things I've killed. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put the fuel rod in the next section. And I'm going to try to start sniping things here. And notice how I was able to get that kill because he was fuel rodded. That knight was fuel rodded and his shield was down. Now I've sniped the elite with the fuel rod, so only thing I have to worry about now, pretty much, is suiciding grunts, which I think we've got one coming right now. 2 coming right now, which actually worked out pretty well here. 2 more guys that can kill me with 1 hit, i.e. a grenade stick, that are dead and dead fast. I swear to God, it's like a prank. I don't know why this elevator doesn't just stay up top and then go back down whenever you're down there, or just never go back down. I don't know. It's like a prank. You'll be sitting there and it's all of a sudden it starts going down. I don't even know why that exists in the way it does. So I don't know if I need to explain what I'm doing here. Just, you know, shooting things accurately at range. That's pretty much the goal here. No more of the light rifle left. Of course it comes up now. I did not pick up any extra light rifle there for God knows what reason. Probably because there's very few enemies left in this area that I really need to worry about. And there's plenty of light rifle in the small transitional area before we go to the second, or to the final battle here. So yeah, just plenty of ammunition. By the way, in this area, the reason why I stayed far back is that at some point, if you don't kill all the Prometheans, a Phantom with a dude on a turret will, and that guy will, I shouldn't have to tell you, he will rip you apart once you show your face. So that's why I wait back there. I don't know if you got a chance to see him. He wasn't really a big factor because you didn't see the firing a lot, because I was able to kill the Prometheans before he got a chance to, but it can be tricky there. Just do not come out until that Phantom is gone. And don't let that door shut on you, by the way, the one that I came out of. If it shuts on you, it's shut forever. So I try to sneak something on this guy, but he dodges my grenade, and he can't even see it when he dodges it. So the scariest guy is right there. He's also the most effective at having the chance to take down the Prometheans, but I don't want to be fuel rotted, you know, thinking I'm trying to attack the Prometheans, and, you know, he all of a sudden takes interest in me. The elites usually don't until the Prometheans are dead, but don't count on that. So he's just dodging the fuel rods, or that carbine, very deftly, because the fuel rods move extremely slow. Halo 3 was the last game that I can think of where the fuel rod was an important weapon to have on legendary difficulty. It just does not fire fast enough, it's not powerful enough, and the enemies dodge it very easily. So I'm just whittling everybody down and trying to get kills as much as I can, but ultimately I've got a case full of light rifle back there that will probably ultimately be what I end up getting most of the kills with here. Notice how that elite dodged the fuel rod, and he wasn't even looking at it, by the way. Same thing there. You can't flank anybody in this game anymore. You can't flank, you can't plan, you can't do anything like that. They will know, they know where you're at, they know what's going on. They did not build the AI intelligent enough to not look like robots. Especially on legendary difficulty. Alright, so I think we just have one elite and one knight left, and I think the one knight that's left is the guy, the Lancer, the guy with the binary. So we need to be ultra careful of him, but we also need to be careful if this guy doesn't stick us with a grenade. So we're just, now that we've got both of them up front, that guy phases away because everyone loves when that occurs. Even that elite's probably pissed off about that. So they're battling. I'm trying to weaken the knight because the elite is going to be by far the easiest one to take care of out of them both. Notice how there, that's pretty scary to have him just looking at you, so I'm done with that guy. He can't take care of the knight. For all I know, they're play fighting like the guys before. So we've got 2 stickies, 3 fuel rods, and a whole bunch of light rifle ammunition. Hopefully our wits, and we're going to try to take this guy out without, I don't know, spending forever here. So, as you know with the Lancers, maybe you don't know with the Lancers, they have kind of a charge-up shot. Their sniper shots have to charge up. The ring kind of gets darker and darker, darker orange, and then it fires. If you know that timing, then you can get him to fire upon you from when you're already in cover. So if you can kind of figure that timing out, the Lancers don't have to be as scary as they sound, but they will kill you in one shot on Legendary, and I believe even on Heroic. So we get really fortunate here. He spawns in the wrong spot, or phases over to the wrong spot, and the two fuel... I knew where he was going to go, so as soon as he got there, I was ready to fire the fuel rods, and he's finished. And the level is finished.
We don't have time.
Right?
Pillars! Touch the pillars!
Not quite. Not quite. We still got my least favorite ending to a level ever. This should be awesome, but my god, you are at the mercy of this first-person shooter's physics engine. And so the idea of playing this thing on Legendary, going all the way through almost 40 minutes here, and then dying because of some garbage here is just absolutely torture. It's absolutely torture. Gravemind was not the last Halo level that I completed deathlessly. Forerunner was the last one I completed deathlessly. And this section is why. I was wholly prepared at one point to present this as not deathless. That jump right there and this jump mainly right there are the worst ones. Once you're past this point, I'd say practice and skill, being practiced, understanding this level, skill, all that comes into play a lot more. It's those two jumps we just passed over there. Those are the ones where I died. I mean, otherwise, this is pretty cool. I mean, there's really nothing bad about this, but it doesn't even matter what difficulty level you're on. There's no way to make this harder or easier that I'm aware of, and so, maybe stuff crashes faster, I don't know, but even when I played this on other difficulty levels, I can die here, I can play great and then come here and die, so there's no guarantees of getting past this part deathless, in my opinion. Even speedrunners will say that, but they don't have to go deathless. All they need is a good checkpoint. I've heard people say this before, and I think it's a good idea. So try it out if you're struggling with this. If you follow the light, which essentially are those cracks that look like you shouldn't drive over them, that are spitting up lava, I think if you're in a place where you're kind of confused, just go towards them or follow them. I don't know. That was close. That was close right there, man. Woo! Or maybe not. I don't know. Just don't turn on the Iron Skull when you play this level. That's the best advice I have for you. Alright guys, so that's Forerunner for you. A challenging stage to enjoy with an ending that if you're trying to go deathless can make you want to choke something. If you have any suggestions, any comments, any alternate strats, or any horror stories to tell about your you playing this level or about playing Halo 4, please leave them in the comments section. Also, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, and subscribe and hit the notifications bell if you haven't already. The notifications bell being very important because it will let you know when something is brand new, fresh, hot off the presses, and all that good stuff. As for now, however, this is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.